A horde of diverse monsters, their eyes glowing menacingly, descended upon a city. Their ferocious attacks brought countless cities to ruin. Humanity huddled in fortresses, seeking refuge from the monstrous apocalypse. A terrified, tear-streaked girl recoils in fear as a threatening voice berates her for running from Brother Kai, whose attention is twistedly framed as a blessing. A group of arrogant students, led by a blonde young man, sneered at a blue-haired student, reminding him of his lower social status and that he should be grateful for being allowed to study with them. A terrified girl stood at the edge of a chasm, a group of menacing men approaching her. One of them gave her a cruel ultimatum: submit to him or jump into the abyss. She looked fearful and a little defiant at the edge. A bruised and furious girl fiercely accuses someone of assaulting classmates and silencing witnesses, refusing to participate in any schemes. A sinister-looking man with purple hair watches a blonde-haired man push a red-haired woman into a dark pit, commenting knowingly that she seems to know quite a bit. A man in a purple suit gloated about Lin Ling being forced to marry him, her brother imprisoned. He then turned his attention to a terrified young woman, offering to spare her if she cooperated. The frightened woman gasped, eyes wide with fear, as the man chuckled menacingly. A wounded woman pleaded with a man, her desperation evident. A heel cracked the ground, sending debris tumbling. The silver-haired woman looked up in alarm, sensing something amiss. The blonde girl leaped across a chasm, leaving the spiky-haired man behind. Pebbles tumbled into the darkness below, foreshadowing a long fall. A sharp cracking sound echoed from the depths of the crevice as the chasm widened. Two men, startled, reacted to a strange sound. A clawed hand gripped something tightly. A monstrous, bone-faced beast descended, its glowing red eyes and sharp teeth terrifying the group below. The blonde young man and the girl in a tattered sailor uniform reacted with shock and fear to the unexpected appearance of the powerful B-class beast. Panic seized the group as a monstrous figure, glowing with menacing red eyes, descended upon them. Someone yelled that it was a B-class beast, capable of killing even awakened individuals, urging everyone to flee. A monstrous figure loomed, its shadow falling over a terrified young woman. The man beside her frantically shoved her forward as a sacrifice, praising her tender skin and delicious taste. The silver-haired girl recoiled in fear as someone reached towards her. A monstrous figure with glowing red eyes and sharp teeth loomed over a terrified man. The scene faded to black. A monstrous figure with glowing red eyes and sharp teeth unleashes a powerful punch, the force of the blow rippling through the air. A powerful figure shrouded in darkness unleashes a devastating blow upon someone below. A terrifying monster loomed, prompting panicked cries of "Murder! Run!" Two men fled in terror as a woman watched, seemingly frozen in fear. One of the fleeing men tripped over a fresh corpse. A terrified man frantically calls for help, warning about a monster. People flee in sheer panic, desperate to escape the unseen threat. A hulking monster with a single red eye lunged, slashing at a man on the ground as another scrambled away, in terror. A sickening crunch echoed as the monster made contact. The scene dissolved into a bloody haze. The gray-haired man frantically ran, his face a mask of fear and determination as he clutched his phone. A monstrous figure, its body cracking and splitting, towered over a terrified schoolgirl. A hulking, monstrous figure with glowing red eyes and a long tongue emerged from the darkness. A terrified schoolgirl cowered beneath a monstrous figure, wounds visible on her legs. Tears streamed down her face as she thought death by monster was preferable to an unknown fate. Someone nervously clutched their throat. A monstrous foot slammed down near a terrified girl. A huge, muscular figure launched itself into the air with a powerful punch. A startled girl reacted to a dark figure crashing down from above. The impact sent debris flying as the figure slammed into the ground near her. A monstrous figure with glowing red eyes and sharp teeth landed heavily on a rooftop. The building shook slightly before the focus shifted to an enraged man slamming his hand on a desk. He demanded answers about his son's death and the school's security. Two staff members, a man and a woman with purple hair, cowered in fear, explaining that their abyss monitors detected nothing. They speculated the creature might have come from outside. A man angrily questioned the explanation that a monster ambushed his son from the abyss walls. He scoffed at the idea, arguing bone-faced beasts were less intelligent than birds. Furious, he accused someone of dodging responsibility for his son's death, vowing revenge on whoever was culpable, human or monster. A man in a suit slammed his hand on a desk, fuming. Two subordinates cowered before him, pleading for the capture of a dangerous beast trapped within the fortress. A dark figure with a red mask swiftly leaps across rooftops in a devastated city. He propels himself forward, leaving trails in his wake. The figure speeds towards a cliff carved with monstrous faces. A city nestled beneath looming, skull-faced cliffs hinted at a world altered. Dust swirled around two monstrous creatures as a white-haired young man stood defiantly before them. A powerful figure, possibly a larger monster, launched a swift, blurry attack towards the scene. A giant skull looms, its jaw agape. The scene shifts to a man with short hair looking up at the sky. A hulking, blood-soaked monster roared, returning to his master. A voice warned the white-haired young man that he was being tracked and needed to return to the beast space. The young man, looking concerned, seemed to consider the warning. Lin Yuan watched intently. He then commanded his second monster to rest as well. The white-haired man smoothly recalled his powerful beasts. A man stood calmly before a looming monster, unfazed. The silver-haired man held 2 dark cards, a smirk playing on his lips as he vowed revenge on Wong Kai for his imprisonment. A dark figure suggests that the monster that killed someone is now their pet. In a monster-infested world, humans with abilities struggle to survive. The white-haired man reveals his advantage, a monster capture system, summoning glowing cards. A man walks confidently amidst a fiery, apocalyptic backdrop. A giant hand manipulates a monstrous purple creature like a puppet. The man declares that the monsters everyone fears are his to capture. Terrified, a man in a purple suit pleaded to be taken back to prison. A monstrous creature loomed over him, its glowing red eyes fixed on the frightened man. The white-haired young man, seemingly unfazed, nodded in agreement to the prisoner's request. Soaring over the cityscape, a dark-skinned man rides a large, gray, bone-faced beast. The man reflects on his captured monsters, noting the bone-faced beast as his strongest yet. A silver-haired man thinks that even though B-class bone-faced beasts are strong, they're not strong enough in this doomsday world. He swiftly leaps onto the back of a charging dark purple monster with a glowing red eye. The impact of the monster hitting the ground shakes the area. Bro activated a mysterious, swirling purple energy. He decided his most pressing concern was escaping prison legally. He stood confidently, seemingly planning his next move. Someone, likely the protagonist, leaves a task to another, seen only by their legs. The white-haired man strides confidently down a hallway, gesturing with a raised hand as a purple spectral card bearing a monstrous insignia sweeps behind him. The spider demoness descended, her multiple eyes gleaming with predatory intent. She moved with a swift, unsettling grace, her spider legs clicking against the floor. The scene opens in front of the royal mansion. Someone urges another person not to lower themselves. A girl with red hair and another with purple hair, Lin Ling, look worried as they consider alternatives. A girl grabs her friend's hand as they walk, her expression serious. She explains that her brother is imprisoned in Blackwater Prison. She's been forced into an engagement with Wong Kai to secure his release. Distressed, she wonders if this is truly her only option. Ren Yu looked stunned. Inside a darkened fortress, a man declared the Wang clan's dominance. His menacing companions listened intently, their eyes glowing ominously. 2 shadowy figures discuss a formidable young man with an academy director for a father and a powerful, 9th-tier ability user brother. A tearful purple-haired young woman listens, the implication being that this powerful individual is a threat. It's emphasized he's a relentless hunter, letting no prey escape. 2 girls noticed a large crowd gathered ahead, a sense of unease hanging in the air. A somber funeral was underway for Wong Kai, the ruthless fortress ruler. Shocked, a red-haired girl reacted in disbelief upon hearing of Wong Kai's sudden demise. Another character expressed relief, believing that Wong Kai's death was karmic retribution for his evil acts. The purple-haired woman, tears streaming down her face, realized she had to tell her brother something urgent. A powerful man approached 2 shocked young women, one with purple hair, another with reddish hair, mentioning his deceased son and a promise. The man proposed to free the purple-haired woman's brother in exchange for marrying his late son. The purple-haired woman was taken aback, starting to object. The red-haired girl delivered the grim news of Wong Kai's death to her purple-haired friend. A sinister man, holding a portrait of the deceased, proposed a ghost marriage to the purple-haired girl. She was horrified at the suggestion of marrying a dead man. The red-haired girl worriedly asked if her brother would be spared. The man offered a twisted deal, agreed to the ghost marriage, and her brother lives. Resigned, the purple-haired woman was shown prepared for the burial, adorned in red, surrounded by jewels inside a glass coffin. The sinister man issued a final threat: refuse, and others will be buried with his son. A menacing man pressured a purple-haired girl to choose between him as her father and brother. Her red-haired friend frantically warned her against it. Tearfully, the purple-haired girl agreed to a ghost marriage with the man's son. Later, in a secret chamber, a kneeling man in futuristic armor swore vengeance on anyone who harmed his little brother. He then questioned if the Lin family should be spared since the girl had agreed to the ghost marriage. A man orders the deaths of a woman's brother and father, sparing her. Another man sinisterly agrees, planning the brother's accidental death in prison. Blackwater Prison's doors clank open automatically, initiating Slaughter Night. Inside, masked inmates are unleashed, told to kill anyone until they escape. A group of menacing prisoners close in on their designated target. A group of bald, menacing figures echoed a sinister command. They marched forward, their heavy footsteps shaking the ground. A young man with gray hair sat reading, seemingly unaware of the impending danger. He was warned that the approaching thugs were sent to kill him. Suddenly, a panicked man yelled that all the cell doors had opened, urging the gray-haired youth to escape. A young man with white hair calmly read, in his cell, refusing to flee despite a warning about approaching thugs. 2 guards were swiftly taken down outside. The thugs, eager to kill the white-haired man, rushed towards his cell. Terror gripped the face of a sweating man as he yelled a warning. The final panel shows RIP on a black background, hinting at a grim fate. A sudden silence startled the dark-haired man and the silver-haired one reading. The dark-haired man got up to investigate the source of the commotion. His face twisted in shock as he saw something terrifying. A group of men were frozen mid-action, their expressions contorted in fear. The silver-haired man asked what was wrong. A demonic spider woman appeared, her sharp claws extended, trapping a terrified bald man in her webs. A silken killing array sliced through screaming figures, leaving carnage in its wake. A terrified man with cuts on his face wondered if he was in hell. A young man with pale blue hair, looking calmly at the scene, was asked who he was. He declared that in this apocalyptic world, he'd eradicate anyone who offended him. Inside the warden's office, a man inquires about Lin Yuan's fate. The warden Tianqi grins wickedly, anticipating Lin Yuan's demise and planning to use his head as a betrothal gift. Elsewhere, Deputy Warden Bai Lin senses an ominous presence approaching from outside. A mustached man looked worried, asking if the frenzied prisoners were approaching. A relaxed, cigar-smoking man assured Steward Wang that the reinforced door could withstand even a tank. Suddenly, a powerful force smashed against the door. A mustached man recoiled in shock, pointing at a massive, monstrous fist smashing through the wall. The fist, belonging to a terrifying, bone-faced beast, slammed into the ground with a deafening boom. The white-haired protagonist calmly observed the chaos he'd unleashed. Another man, horrified, threatened to report the protagonist for controlling the beast. In a flash of brutal speed, the protagonist kicked the mustached man, sending him flying with another resounding boom. A purple-haired officer was shocked to see a human controlling a bone-faced beast. Inside the Blackwater prison, a man threatened the protagonist, warning him about the consequences of killing him. He boasted about the prison's strong guard core. The protagonist, unfazed, questioned if the guards were the threat the man was referring to. A heavily armed and shielded squadron stood ready, implying an imminent confrontation. Soldiers opened fire, but their superior frantically yelled for them to stop. A powerful spider demoness revealed she now controlled the soldiers like puppets. The white-haired protagonist watched calmly as a terrified man begged for his life. The man, on his knees, insisted the Wang family forced him. The protagonist pretended to consider, then demanded the man's Warden authority chip. An older man unlocked a chip, dismissing someone's concern about its usefulness. Soldiers cocked their guns as the white-haired man signaled. The older man cried out in disbelief as he was betrayed. A hail of bullets cut him down. The white-haired man looked upon the carnage, revealing his own sinister agenda for the Warden authority. The silver-haired man greeted the purple-haired officer as the new Warden. Relieved, the officer realized they wouldn't be executed. The man explained that due to the emergency, the officer was automatically promoted. He then offered a spider egg, stating it was necessary for the officer to fully become his. The officer stared intensely at the egg before resolutely deciding to eat it. Pleased with the officer's obedience, the silver-haired man assured them they could retain their free will. The purple-haired officer knelt before her new master, pledging loyalty and offering the prison as his territory. Intrigued, she asked for her first assignment. The master, impressed by her eagerness, revealed a plan involving a powerful metallic mimic beast that had recently attacked a fortress. A flashback showed the monstrous beast wreaking havoc. The master ordered the officer to secure the beast for the prison's beast pit. The officer, understanding her master's long-term strategy, vowed to acquire the S-rank monster by any means necessary. The silver-haired man ordered his subordinate to arrange his immediate release from prison and to inform him about the S-rank monster's arrival. The subordinate warned him of the Wang family and a powerful ability user waiting outside, suggesting he stay in prison for safety. The man smirked, declaring hiding useless, preferring to strike first. A young man with gray hair arrived at the Thunder Ability training hall, breathing heavily. Inside, others gossiped about him coming straight from prison to the dojo, especially on the day of his sister's ghost wedding. They speculated he might be seeking help from the headmaster or a senior named Ning. However, they doubted anyone would risk aiding him against the powerful Wang family, given his solitary nature and lack of strength. Now more than ever, he was alone. A figure walks towards a bright doorway. Wei Xing greets a newcomer, reporting they've gathered all the guest info and movement routes. Wei Xing explains the monitoring bugs are failing. The newcomer offers replacements, revealing a multitude of them. Wei Xing is surprised by the sheer number of new bugs. The silver-haired man collected surveillance bugs from the Blackwater prison beast den. A few bugs had already compromised the prison and Wang family network. With this many, they could monitor half the fortress. He received the synchronized data. He ordered someone to monitor the Wang family and everyone involved in the ghost wedding. His companion expressed concern for his safety. The silver-haired man revealed that Wang Yan's 4 powerful teammates, all 9th-tier ability users, were present at the ghost wedding. A worried blonde man was informed a monster barrier was erected over a wedding site. He reassured someone, saying he had a plan and they both must survive. Flashback to 3 months prior. The blonde man was caught, spying and rescued by a white-haired man. He declared his loyalty to the white-haired man and his fight against the Wang family. The white-haired man admitted he saved him due to their shared goal, surprised that a former campus peeping Tom was now driven by revenge for someone pushed into the abyss. Someone vows revenge. A vehicle speeds across a desolate landscape. Inside, a man questions if the living can marry the dead. Another man scoffs, saying it's an honor for the low-born girl to marry a deceased noble. He cynically remarks she's lucky. Then the first man brings up a disturbing rumor about ghost weddings. A man brandished a dagger, vowing to kill a woman for the Wang family's second son. In a car, a passenger worried about the bone mask beast, the second son's killer. The driver reassured him, confident in their armored car's tank-like defenses. Suddenly, the bone mask beast attacked, tearing at the armored vehicle. Panic erupted in the vehicle as the bone mask beast appeared. The driver, reassured by their armor, urged them to escape. Suddenly, a second bone mask beast attacked, shocking the passengers who had expected only one. High above, a lone figure observed the chaos and gave the order to attack. A young man with gray hair looked on with a serious expression. Hydraulic armor activated, boasting 100% defense. A monstrous figure, empowered with purple energy, unleashed a furious barrage of blows against the armor. The armor's defense plummeted to 70%, cracking under the relentless assault. Despite the onslaught, the armor held, its defense dropping to a mere 1%, showcasing its incredible resilience. A vehicle explodes mid-air, its defense drastically reduced. A man in a white shirt plummets from the sky towards a monstrous creature. The white-haired protagonist stands calmly between two powerful, crouched beasts with red masks. A desperate man begged for his life, offering a huge reward. The silver-haired man questioned if the blade was for a ghost wedding. The man pleaded for mercy. A swift, brutal slash ended his life. The man's body fell to the ground as monstrous figures loomed nearby. A blue-haired man holds a dark card. A voice declares, "Shadow, it's your turn." A shadowy, spindly creature lunges at a fleeing man trailed by purple energy.